races to run before we got our final result, and that's all down to rider discipline and behaviour and excellence. So well done. Luck's been on the club side, and I'll tell you what, we've had a very good run as far as incident is concerned, with the most notable casualties yesterday for Aaron and Tracy in their sidecar crash, which is extremely bad luck, and we wish them all the best for a speedy recovery. Won't see them again, I'm sure, this weekend. Borderline as to whether we'd see them at Hampton Downs, I think, Spider. I think that would be asking a bit much somehow of two people. A collarbone generally around 6 weeks, and it's probably about 7 weeks away to that event. I wouldn't say never, but yeah, and maybe as well, of course, there's not too much to achieve other than to put your machine out there in front of your sponsor, for your sponsors.
Well, I'm going to put a tenner on that. Machine's going to be back out here next weekend.
Next weekend?
Yeah. I've just had some inside information. Totally confidential on who's riding it. I've no idea who's riding it, in fact, but certainly they're looking at getting it.
The bike
that's driven by Gary Goodfellow, the shoesy man that says, you know, for the sponsors, we want to get that bike back out there. So it'll be great to see that bike back on the grid, and no doubt you'll all be biting your fingernails to work out who's going to be piloting and who's going to be passengering next weekend.
NZSBK.com. We need to stay tuned, Spider.
The gossip, the jungle drums will be battling at the moment, but it'd be good to see that bike out, number 93, next weekend. Look at that, the 2600s. Good to see the sportsmanship of them.
Ian and Graham, by the way.
Yep, moving into this other class and getting some riding in, and there it is, Andy McLaughlin on the 33 machine, followed by 86 machine. Chris Sutcliffe there, and Paul Skinner, Damien Perriton having a go. I see his name spelt wrong on the live timing. That doesn't matter, it's a Damien instead of a Damien, but he won't worry about that. He's on the number 40 machine. Jacob Pearce, Jack Condon, Turiana Banks is in 9th spot there. She's be coming through shortly, and Phil Denham and Vanessa Woodley-Gill. In fact, those people haven't come through. What's going on there? Maybe it's just a timing glitch.
So there we are, keen to watch this corporate print supported development class, corporate print of the print extraordinaires of programs, race orders and tickets, etc. So good to have a standard print, making it more affordable for all these clubs. When you get a bulk print, you get a cheaper deal. So we're all benefiting from corporate print. That's corpprint.co.nz out of Grey Road in Timaru. Proud to be our printing specialist and supporting our motorcycling endeavours. Of course, we'll be in the Timaru capital next weekend for Levels Racing. Levels the name of the circuit. Timaru, the local city. South Canterbury, the region. About Timaru's, in fact, very close to about the halfway mark down the South Island if you look at it from top to bottom. And if I see the crash recovery team heading out there, oh, there's a bike at the top, just towards the end of the trees. So Spider's going to grab the binoculars. It's a light-coloured bike, parked against the fence. I presume it's from this one. And well, there we go. Maybe, is that a Mark Robertson? Look, he's got a very... Oh, no, this is a dark bike, sorry. No. We've got there's the high vis to go past. So that's young Jesse Stroud. Here's Mark. There's Mark going past. And there's Francie. Oh, no, Steve. Stephen. No, that was, I think... Oh, look, Steve. Oh, that's his shout. That is absolutely his shout. Stephen Wintering of Electroplaners, folks. Make sure you catch up with Steve. He's got his awesome little chrome. It is, in fact, the 150. I made the comment yesterday it was a 250. That is another bike. He has the 150 as well. And it's a little Jap import, a 150 two-stroke. Now, of course, the dominant machine available in New Zealand was the Suzuki. The Honda did not import the two-stroke 150 into the country, so people that have got them have imported them themselves. And I've got the single swing arm, which was a great feature of Honda, the likes of the VFR 400 and 700s to have had that feature of the bike. In fact, we'd go to RC30 Superbikes, of course, that single swing arm as well, which were revolutionary for their time. So to see this 80s model bike out there is great to see. And well, I'm not sure, do we say to Steve Winderingham that it's not as well a prepared rider or not as well a prepared bike? Whichever way it is, his shout. So Steve Winderingham, we love you here in Invercargill. But back to our race, Ian Young, Graham Morgan, they're the two riders on the big bikes, given an opportunity to go in front of the development class still to get some good racing in. But now, in fact, we see that Damien Perriton taking advantage over Andy McLaughlin. Andy McLaughlin, he looked like he was unbeatable, Spider.
He did early on in the season and early on in the day, but certainly there might be a change of position there. Damien, a very experienced rider I went to the CAMS meeting in the first weekend of December, and he was riding a GSXR 1100 there, and he's done plenty of miles around there at the racetrack by himself, also following his two sons, Bailey and Connor, and very adaptable on the little bikes as well, as it's being proven out there at the moment. Damien Perriton on the number 40 machine. On the other man just started a new business. He calls himself the other man. lives in Hines, about 20 minutes south of Ashburton. So if you want any work done there, any handyman work there, this man can do it for you. And great step for the family to decide to go out and go into their business for themselves, because they just want to do a better job than they were working for other people and not getting the satisfaction of it, so they're doing it for themselves, the other man. So if you need work done, he does all sorts of work, from putting in a shower to motorcycle preparation and bits and pieces like that. So that's Damien Perrotton. What's happened there, he's slowed going across the start-finish line substantially. The white flag is out, but Damien is slowed substantially. That's given it back to Andy McLaughlin. That's given a 2-second advantage to Andy McLaughlin, and Chris Sutcliffe in second place, in fact, and Damien slipping down to third. Jacob Pearce, Paul Skinner, Jack Condon, Phil Denon, Turiana Banks, the number 13 machine of Turiana from Porirua. Ben Wilson, Jesse Stroud out there on the little wee, the bike's bigger than him, about 6 times bigger, the number 52 machine. It's just incredible. Yesterday he had to start from pit lane. I said, what happened, young Jesse? Well, he went out into he missed the 5-minute call, went out into the dummy grid there and got stuck behind the van, and he's so small he couldn't back the bike out. So his father Andrew had to go and grab that bike and move it around for him so he could get out the race. We've had a checkered flag, the final checkered flag for the weekend, and Eon Young and Graham Morgan on the Supersport B bikes were out there doing a bit of round and round, because they were a little bit too slow for the Supersport class earlier on, so they were pushed across to there, and I've been out enjoying their racing. And number 3, we expect to go, number 33, sorry, here we go, is it number 33, the first of the development class, coming through there, and that is Andrew McLaughlin. Chris Sutcliffe goes through on the 86 machine. Number 5 standing up on the bench for some reason is Jacob Pearce, Jack Condon, Paul Skinner, Phil Denovan, and we've got Damien Perrotton going through. So I don't know what happened with Damien Perrotton. Maybe he run low on motion lotion. Turiana Banks, top 10 finish for Turiana. In fact, it's better than the top 10, because remember the first 2 bike are the Supersport Bs. So she's gone up to 8th place. Ben Wilson goes through. Oh, Ben Wilson. Haven't seen him. Yes, he's already gone through, sorry. There goes young Jesse Stroud, just enjoying his motorcycle racing so much, and even working on his bike. I saw him fiddling around by himself working on his bike. So Jesse Stroud and Vanessa Woodley-Gill in 13th.
Thank you indeed, Spider. Great call as we get set to wrap our event, because we can't do it without our sponsors, as we go right through our lineup, including Homestead 650 Pro Twin today. Southland Honda, love you Southland Honda, at home at 77 Clyde Street in Invercargill at www.southland honda. And always a thanks to them organising their very special pizza and refreshment night for all the riders and support crews. That was on Friday night, something that they've done with local Southland hospitality for many years. Big Willie's Sports Bar at the Newfield Tavern, where big is best. Also to a handy Andy man, your property maintenance expert, Mr. Andy Underhay, our president and clerk of the course extraordinaire. Quick, efficient, reliable service. A handyman, there is nothing better. Property maintenance is oh so important, so check it out. That is Handy Andy. And then we go to the Lone Star, of course, Lone Star of Invercargill. Legends being served